There was a new proposal this week from the league to the Players Association. Did not go over well. There were 4 parts of it that I found pretty interesting. We're going to go kind of one by one. The first part of it is that this is the biggest free agent restriction proposal in MLB history. So there would be, in this new proposal by the league, there would be a 5-year max on contracts for players going to new teams, 6 years for players re-signing with their team, kind of like how the NBA does it. It would have killed some of the most iconic, contracts ever. Like recent history, Shohei's 10-year, $700 million deal. Judge's 9-year, $300 million deal. Soto just signed his 15-year, $765 million deal. Consider all of those gone with this new proposal. What do you guys think about that?
I think this is just a very drastic change. You're going from 15-year contract down to, that would have been a 5-year because he's joining a new team. I just don't see a world in which that ultimately becomes the rules going into next season. It's just a huge gap. When you make changes in a league, and I'm saying this as a fantasy baseball commissioner because I think about this stuff and it's come into play year after year. We do rule changes. You gotta keep it small because for the most part, MLB's got a great thing going. We all love watching baseball. We love talking baseball. We watch it every day. You don't need to change things that much. Start small, see how that goes. It's like a test run, and then you could continue to work your way that way. But that's just a huge, drastic change that I don't see really working out. I do think it's interesting, though, that re-signing, you get the extra year on a contract. I think that really can help some of the small market teams have an advantage in retaining players. You have an extra year to offer them, and if players want those big contracts and the ceiling or the cap is that many years, you at least have a year advantage to retain a player.
Yeah, another big part of this is the salary cap, which I also think, like you just said, would help small market teams. Kobe, where do you stand on the salary cap?
I mean, when I look at the salary cap, I'm actually totally against it. I don't care for the salary cap at all. I think a salary floor is the much more necessary option. And I also think on the flip side, players aren't going to want this. I mean, they think that money's going to be moving around in a positive way where they're going to be, like, you're just affecting their contracts, the amount of money that they're going to be able to make on a year-in, year-out basis. And I just don't see how they come to an agreement. And I think the biggest issue, and I brought this up many times, is a team like the Brewers. Sure, they're succeeding right now. They're doing fantastic. But last year they dumped Freddie Peralta because they didn't want to pay him $9 million. That's an issue. That's genuinely something where these small market teams need to bust out their pockets and actually show that they're willing to invest in the team that they're putting together. People are very frustrated because teams like the Dodgers can run away with things like that. And don't get me wrong, there are advantages that they have that not many other teams do have. But I also think that there's not as much of an aggression from these other teams, almost because of that fact, that knowing it's Los Angeles, they have this. It seems that teams are afraid to even run up against them right now to try to make a more appealing offer. And I don't know. I just don't think that a cap is what solves the issue. I also had an interesting point brought up to me of just, it also is, my original point. Los Angeles is a very ideal spot. The Dodgers, yes, they would lose an advantage from a salary cap coming into play. But also, when a player's picking, if the Dodgers can offer a similar amount or even less, you're taking a pay cut, but you're also going to play for a team that has back-to-back championships, maybe even three-peated by then, whatever. But that's more of an appealing place. And since the cap's in place, there's only so much money that they can offer you. So I do think there are a lot of players who have that mindset too, of I don't need to necessarily make money. I'll make a little bit of bonus if we win a World Series, and I want to go play for a team that's going to compete. So I think there's two ways of looking at it, but the cap doesn't just necessarily fix all of the issues that have come to light.
If the salary cap gets implemented and somehow, some way, the Players Association accepts that, which I don't think they ever will. But if they do, it leads to a situation where if one player gets more, it just means that another player is getting paid less. And that is the number one thing that the Players Association is trying to avoid. They want everybody in the league to get the fairest chance to be paid as much money as they deserve. You set up a salary cap. I mean, I have no clue what the number is going to be. Let's just say $200 million. and 45 million of those dollars is going to one player on your roster. That's a ton of money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nearly 25% of your entire roster going towards one player. It makes it a situation where a guy like Caleb Durbin, I don't know why he just came to my mind, but Caleb Durbin, if he ever reaches free agency, is not going to get, $15 million. He can't. It's not possible, even if he somehow deserves it.
To go back to what Kobe
Right.
was kind of saying, how the big market teams like the Dodgers are still having an advantage because of their success in Los Angeles. I think that is kind of a part of the reasoning for why maybe this is needed. Those big market successful teams have an advantage enough as it is. So to also just allow them to spend, you got to take away something to kind of have a little bit more of a balance across the league.
Another part of this is the elimination of prop bets on sports books. People say, and the players are saying, that a lot of people are betting on them to get 2+ hits, and if they don't come through, they'll get hate DMs, death threats on the field, people screaming at them from the stands. First of all, that's never okay. Can't have that at all. I don't blame the league or the players, one bit for wanting to get rid of prop bets on sports books. What do you guys think about that?
I actually don't yes, I do agree. Like that, what comes from that and what they're backing behind it makes sense. But I also feel like you're not just totally X-naying that from ever happening again by just taking out prop bets. I mean, if you're going to allow regular bets to happen, if a player sells from just their money line perspective, they're still going to get those death threats. So yes, maybe it mutes it slightly or turns it down a bit, but it's still, the issue still lays at hand. It's people that need to be fixed, not necessarily a rule. I personally think that because of Clause A and some other issues, that's more of a reasoning for why prop bets they're trying to silence those a little bit more. Because in baseball, compared to a lot of other sports, it's a lot easier to do those kind of prop bets. I mean, what was Clause A's, like throwing a ball on the first pitch? Something very simple that was very hard to detect. That's very hard to detect. Baseball, especially from a pitcher's perspective, it's a very easy thing to try to, and yes, it probably is easy for other sports too, but since that's becoming more of an issue that we've been seeing in baseball, is guys betting on themselves in a negative way or positive way, I think that's more of a valid reasoning for wanting to take out prop bets.
Yeah, super true. I mean, I totally agree. These guys should not be betting on themselves. Pete Rose, kind of one of the, I don't even say one of, probably the most famous example of this, betting on his own team to win. You just can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Great points, Kobe and Zev. I agree with all that. Had to get you in there too, but
Snuck me in there, yeah.
yeah, found a way. Kobe, you're absolutely right. Like, you're not going to eliminate it entirely because you still have money lines, you still have spreads, all that, run totals. But if you can just mute it in any way, I think that's a great thing. I'm all for it. If you're sending death threats to a player over losing money that you choose to gamble, you're a loser. And when a kid is acting up and misbehaving, you got to take something away from them. So take away the prop bets. You screwed up. You lose it. Bye-bye.
Speaking of getting
I
hate,
agree.
this is a bit of a side point, but we got a little bit of hate on one of our videos, and I wanted to just address it slightly on how I think people may have misinterpreted what we were talking about. We posted a video, we talked about it last week, about Gene Segura's 200th double. We were not expecting it to gain the traction it did, and in the way it did. We had a lot of people kind of just saying, like, there have been 23,000 players in baseball, only 1,000 of them, like, you guys are totally taking away this moment. We did not mean that at all. Specifically me, because I was the one kind of headlining it. I had no intentions on dogging him for the move. I just want anyone who may have felt that way to pull up another video of someone getting on the Jumbotron, giving a curtain call, and genuinely having every single person in the stands pretty much celebrate their 200th double. I've never seen it before. Yes, it's a great accomplishment, but a lot of times you see those for something that maybe only 100 players have done, or 50. So again, no hate to Gene at all. It's a fantastic accomplishment for a player who has had a pretty good career. But again, I just thought that was funny. I wanted to address that situation before we kept moving forward.
And I actually, I gave him his props. I said, I even said there's been 23,000 players to play baseball, and he's one of, just a handful to make that accomplishment.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to hate on him. It was more meant to be like, I was surprised that the Phillies were that ready for it, and everyone was just so active in the celebration of it.
So
Hey, if you're watching this social vid, because I know it's going to be a vid, check out our podcast. We post every week on YouTube. Give us a watch, please.
and the ultimate point is, if you are watching already on YouTube the full episode, we appreciate you for listening to the entire thing and
Big
not
time.
just making assumptions over our 45-second videos that make it onto social media. Thank you.
Seriously. All right, back to the CBA. The final thing that was really interesting with this whole discussion was that the MLBPA interim executive director, Bruce Meyer, had a very interesting quote. He said, "I have never seen this degree of unity at this point among players and agents. I think the league has done us a favor because their proposals are in fact so obviously and extremely bad for players at all levels that it's actually been a benefit for our unity." I mean, there is no way we have baseball next year, right? Like, zero chance.
We'll see. Players want to make
have time.
money. Still a ways away.
Well, the players do want to make money, but if this proposal goes through, they'll be losing a lot of money.
That's true.
We'll have baseball. I'm confident.
What you said?
It may be delayed. We'll have baseball. It may be delayed. Don't get me wrong.
I think
but
this
we'll have
is
baseball.
this is probably the farthest the two sides have been since 1994, which like ruined baseball for the foreseeable future. You know, obviously the World Series was wiped out, and it took the steroid era for people to come back into it. I feel like the league is headed towards this again. Like I truly believe there is more than a 50% chance that we don't have baseball next year, and if we do, it's a shortened season, and that can't be good. The league is gaining so much momentum right now. We're getting past the NBA. We're reaching up on the NFL. The NFL is obviously rising, but the league is rising. The MLB is rising faster than the NFL is right now, and this is just going to halt all of that progress.
The league is in a great spot. Everything besides this whole situation with the money and stuff, all the new rules they've implemented over the last couple of years are very popular. ABS, the pitch clock, all that has really just helped the league gain traction. And like you said, we're kind of moving past the NBA. So that's kind of just why I feel like something will come together. Maybe it's just hopeful thinking, but the league is in such a great place right now. Like, let's not just throw it all away. And I know this is like this is bigger than that, I suppose. You got a lot of money on the line. Money is at the top of people's minds.
Yeah.
So maybe this is enough to halt that. But my wishful thinking is that it's been so great these last couple of years. Let's not ruin it.
So someone's going to decide to come forward. Baseball is at its most profitable point, making a gross of $12.1 billion. Owners are going to stop making money if baseball stops happening. And they're going to eventually cave in on something to get baseball going again. So I do think that with as much as, like, it may be delayed, it could be a month, it could be 2 months, there's going to be baseball played.
Yeah, my final point for this is you hit the nail on the head right there. The league is going to have to cave if we want baseball, because the Players Association certainly is not. I mean, just based off of that one quote, he had a bunch of others in this article that we read. The Players Association is not going to cave in any slight way. It's going to be the league doing it, and they're not going to be happy about it. But if they want baseball, going to have to suck it up.